Hey guys, my name is Pete from Crunch Time Coaching, and in this video, my goal is truly to help you have your best year ever on court. There's going to be a lot of great information coming at you, so make sure you do watch this video to the end. Get rid of all the distractions, get a pen and paper out, or make notes on a computer, and let's get started right now. So the number one thing that I want you to write down, so you know what you're doing out there each and every day when you hit the court to either play a match or practice, is you have to know your why. What's your big why? Why are you actually playing tennis? And this sounds really simple, but a lot of people are kind of all over the place when it comes to this. They'll mention a bunch of different things and they'll say, well, yeah, I'm playing tennis because I want to have a better serve and I want a bigger forehand, and yeah, I want to get faster and I want to win more matches and I want to do this and I want to do that. Like, you want everything. But especially if it's going towards next year and you're trying to have your best year ever on court, a lot of people fail. Everybody makes goals every year as far as they want to become a better tennis player. But at the end of the year, when it's over, you look back and you're like, too many people are just the same player that they were the year before. They had the same bad habits. They are winning about the same amount of matches. They're at the same level. So how does this happen to people? I think this happens because a lot of people they're not really honest with themselves on why they're playing tennis. You know, Novak Djokovic is completely honest with himself on why he's playing tennis. Yeah, he just won the year-end championships, and somebody asked him about retiring. Hey, Novak, when are you going to retire? You know, is there a certain number that you have in mind that you want to win a certain number of Grand Slams, or you're going to get to a certain age, you're going to retire? And Novak says that's not what motivates him at all. You know, he just loves the game of tennis. And he says that, you know, winning the championships, that's kind of like the easy part. Everybody wants that, right? So you might be thinking, well, I want to become a 4-0, or I want to win all my tennis matches next year, right? Everybody will tell you that, of course you do. You don't want to be losing tennis matches. But when things get tough at the end of the day, knowing your why helps you get going. And Novak says he loves to watch tennis, he loves to play tennis, and he loves to do the work that's required to make him a champion. And he basically says once he stops enjoying that work that it takes on a daily basis to get to the level that he needs to be to win, then that's when he's probably going to decide that it's time to stop. So knowing that why is extremely important. So before we move on to the next point I want to make, write down here in the comments section so I can see and I can help you, and you can kind of hold yourself accountable. What's your why? What's your big why? Why are you playing tennis? Why are you truly playing tennis? What do you most want to get out of the game? All right, number two. Let's say your main driver is still competition. You have a big competitive thirst. You love to play matches, you love to challenge yourself, and of course, you want to win more than you lose. That's like the biggest reason why you play tennis. You just love that. You can't get that same competition when you're on the treadmill, right? Working out. It's going out there, facing somebody across the net, and wanting to figure out how to win that day. All right? So if that's your big why you're playing tennis, the next thing you have to think about, and write this down, this is the number two I want you to write down, is what's the one big thing that is going to move the needle the most for you? Because tennis is a very complicated game, right? And so if you asked somebody what they want to improve, they start thinking about their game like, well, yeah, my serve could be better, and certainly my forehand could be bigger, and I want more spin on it, and yeah, my backhand, I'd love to come over it more, and I want to get a nice continental grip and put away all my volleys. I want to be in better shape. Like, all of a sudden the list is getting huge, and your focus starts to get really diluted in what you can do on a daily basis, especially because most of us are not going to be able to practice as much and as long as Novak Djokovic can on a daily basis. So you have to write down what's the one big thing that you need to work on that's going to move the needle most for you. And usually the obvious answer is your weakness. Like, let's say you have a weak one-handed backhand that gets picked on, but you play doubles, okay? Well, then the one-handed backhand might not be the thing that you need to work on the most. Let's say you've got an amazing serve, or you've got a big forehand, or you're super fast. Like, think about all your intangibles. And lots of times it's thinking about what's my number one strength, and let me get that better. Let me dedicate more time to my strength. But you need to know, if you were able to implement just one thing in your game, if one thing could get better in your game, what's going to help you win the most matches? And it could be an array of things. It could be technique. It could be strategy. It could be fitness. It could be reaction time. Like, start to think about what that one thing is, and then you have to start to attack that one thing like an animal. Okay, so I want you to do this. What's the one big thing? Write it down, that if you were able to change or make better, that would help you improve the most on court in competitive play. Write that down, and we're going to go into number 3. The third thing you need to focus on once you identify the why, the one big thing, now it becomes how do you implement working on this one big thing. And this is where most people get super lost in the weeds, start chasing shiny object after shiny object, get stuck, get frustrated, and ultimately regress back to their old bad habits. And this is why they end up year after year kind of being the same player. So let's pick out the elephant in the room for most people. Most people watching this video, I'm going to assume that you are a 4.0 player or below. There's some people 4.5, 5.0 maybe watching this video, but I'm going to assume most people are recreational players. They're 4.0 or below, and if they're to have an honest conversation with themselves, their serve could improve a lot. Year after year after year, they have this grand plan of changing their serve, and then at the end of the year, when they were to look at themselves on video, which not a lot of people do, the serve pretty much looks the same. It's got the same miles per hour. They hit the second serve the same. They hit the same amount of aces, the same amount of double faults. Like, it hasn't changed much, okay? And usually the reason that is first of all, when the new year comes, we get super excited to go out and practice and make a change. And most of the time, we're doing the wrong things. Like, again, we're just going to work on the serve today. That's our big goal. We figure we can make that serve better, get more free points in matches, hold serve easier. Then all we got to do is get that 1 or 2 break in match play, and we're winning the match, whether we're playing singles or doubles. And what most people do is take this basket of serves. They take this basket right here. They come back to the baseline. They'd work on their serve a lot. Like, I'm going to serve a basket every single day for like 3 months straight. And then all of a sudden, they start to play their matches, and guess what? They get nervous. They hit a couple of double faults, and then they go back to their old habit. They start dinking in second serves, and then again, now all of a sudden they're in season, and they're like, well, now I'm playing matches all the time. And once you go out there on the court, even if you say to yourself, well, winning's not the be-all, end-all to me. You know, winning's not the most important thing. I'd rather change this technique. That would make me really happy and proud of myself. Once you get out there in the match, everything goes out the window, and all you can think about is winning and losing the match. I don't care who you are. There's very few players who can just go out there and go, well, I'm just going to work on technique. You want to win that match. I know how that feels, believe me. So what you've got to do is you've got to start to work smarter and not harder, and you've got to be more disciplined, and you've got to be very realistic in your practices. I've talked about this over and over again. I don't want you practicing baskets of serves by the baseline if you want to really transform and improve your serve. And we're going to do a 7-day serve challenge in the beginning of the year too. So make sure that at the end of the video, when I give you a free serve course, that you get on my email list if you're not on my email list, so you can do the serve challenge with me. But I talk about it all the time is breaking things down into progressions. And so what you've got to start to do is go, okay, my serve needs to improve. What's the one thing holding my serve back from actually being a good serve, right? Because again, you might have many things holding your serve back, but usually it's like 1 or 2 very glaringly bad habits that need to be cleaned up, that year after year you're unwilling to really take seriously. You talk a good talk, but you don't walk the good walk. So the classic one for most people is that their racket flops back, and they've watched a ton of instructional videos, and a lot of videos make sense, but at the end of the day, if they're filming themselves, the racket still comes back here, and they go up, and they don't come up on the ball on edge. That's like an easy one that most people struggle with between the 3.5 to the 4.0, so they're not able to develop a spin serve, which you're going to need to actually play 4.0 and 4.5 and beyond tennis. You have to get that spin serve going if you want to get to that next level and have a dependable serve that can be dependable and a weapon at the same time. So again, how would you do that? You go, okay, that's the one thing. That's the one thing out of my one thing that I need to improve. And then so you've got to be willing to do the progressions, willing to do the baby steps. And where most people fall down is they might be willing to do it for a day or two, or you might do it all week during my 7-day serve challenge. But then once that goes away, you are not willing to do the work. And it comes back to what Novak Djokovic says. He knows he has to do the work consistently to be able to come out on the court and be an amazing product. And that's what I want you to think about yourself as a product. If you want to be an amazing product, if you want to have an amazing serve, you've got to put in the same work consistently. You can't go, well, I tried this drill and that didn't work, and this drill and that didn't work. Like once you find a system that you believe in and you start just identifying and working on that one thing you need to change, don't go think, well, something else like working on the way your legs move or come together or being in a platform stance is all of a sudden going to fix this. No, you've just got to work and fix this until you focus on anything else. And if you're willing to finally do that, you can actually have the best year ever on court, okay? So that's what I really want you to break down and write down today is go, number one, what's my why? Why am I playing this game of tennis? What do I want to get out of it? Number two, what's the one big thing that if I could change or improve or make a bigger strength or get rid of a weakness, what's that one big thing that I need to focus on that's going to make the biggest move in my game? And number three is you go, what's the one big thing out of that big thing that if I can improve it, then it's going to make that thing really move. It's going to move the needle and it's going to help transform my serve, my forehand, my backhand, my strategy, my fitness. What is it that I need to do? And then you've got to attack that over and over again, consistently into progressions. Enjoy the process of it. See, that's what Novak Djokovic is able to do. He's able to enjoy the process of what it takes to prepare himself to get better. Once he stops being willing to put in that work, he knows he can't compete at the level he needs to be to win the matches that he needs to win at that high level. Now, you don't have to get your game that good to win matches at your level because you're not competing against the same players Novak's playing against, but it's the same kind of concept. It's like once you're not really willing to put in the work, look in the mirror and willing to put in the work, you're going to become the same player day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year. So hopefully this video made sense to you and you're super excited to play your best tennis in 2023. Let's say the serve is your thing. I've actually got a free serve course for you right now where I'm going to give you 33 count them, free videos called Serving A to Z. It's going to get you really on a roll. So if you want to learn how to hit spin serves, you want to learn how to get your toss under control, the rhythm of the serve, all that kind of stuff, click up here in the card section or go down in the description box and make sure that you get that free course and that in the new year you're ready for my 7-day serve challenge, which is awesome. And it's going to, then you'll have no excuse because it's going to systematically show you what you need to do each and every week. I'm 100% convinced that if you do my 7-day serve challenge and you follow it to the letter and you don't get tired of doing it, your serve will transform in 2023. So I definitely want you to do that. I want all hands on deck. If you're watching this video and you love tennis, I want you doing that in 2023 with me. And I'll see you guys in the next video. If you like this video, give it a like. If you're still watching it, you should at least give it a like. And consider subscribing if you want to be a better tennis player.